Hi, this is Hanna Podbielski, and this is my squat lab from the right lateral view. So just as before, I'm going to separate my squat into 3 phases: the loading phase, the transitional phase, and the unloading phase. So the loading phase starts with my knees extended, just like they are right here. And then this phase is going to end when I go all the way down into knee flexion and my maximum hip range of motion as I go down to my squat. So it ends about right here. And then the transitional phase is when I transition from going down in my squat to pushing up. There's not going to be much movement here in my body because I am switching from going from one direction to another. So that would be right about here. As you can see, my whole body is basically still. And then as I switch to the unloading phase, I will push through my knees and push all the way up back into knee extension, as we see right here. So even before I start the video, I can see that my right foot is definitely everted. It should be pointing straight forward, just like that. But we can see that it is pointing more towards the outside. And it seems like my left foot is also doing that. So again, it should be pointing straight forward. It's kind of hard to see at this angle, but it does seem to be everting a bit. And when my foot turns out like that, it could be from overactive bicep femoris on the short head, or it could be to an underactive gracilis muscle. And then another thing that I tend to notice right off the bat as I am going down into my squat. So let's go forward. That left knee, let me just put a circle around that so we can see what we're looking at. This left knee. It's going to turn outwards as I come down. You can see it a little bit from this angle. So as I pull the video forward, it's going to turn outwards. As you can see the movement right there. My knee coming outwards could be due to an overactive tensor fasciae latae. Tensor fascia latae, or an underactive gluteus maximus muscle. Another thing that I found interesting that we couldn't see from the anterior view, and that's pretty prominent on this view, is that my lower back seems to curve in like that, and it seems like it affects my whole pelvis. So highlighting this, you can only see it when I go from the loading phase to the transition phase. So let me get a circle around what we're looking at. I'll back up the video a little bit. And if we just watch as I come down, it seems that my pelvis tucks in a little bit. And it seems to affect my lower back. So as we see, it tucks in just like that. And my lower back kind of seems to be rounding out just a little bit. So it kind of comes out like this. That's a little exaggerated, but it kind of rounds. And my lower back rounding could be due to an overactive rectus abdominis muscle, or it could be due to an underactive erector spinae muscles. It's definitely interesting, something that I'd never really considered when I was doing squats before. And then looking at my arms again, I believe I pointed this out in the anterior view as well. It's a little easier to see here, so bringing the video back up. we can see my arms are fairly straight, but as I go down into my squat, they're going to come forward and basically cover my face and go past them. So as we see here, they're in a pretty straight line now. So we coming down, they're pretty straight. But as I come forward, they fall past my face. And it's really hard to get a straight line on them because my elbow is turned in right here. Let's move it a little bit, right there. So my elbow is flexed and my arms fall forward. And this could be due to a overactive teres major muscle or an underactive rotator cuff complex. And I know we pointed out my knee before, and it's hard to see the listing, but I do believe there's still a list towards my left side on my hip. It's hard to see, but it seems like my body is leaning a little bit that way. And that asymmetrical weight shift could be due to an overactive gluteus medius on the opposite side, or it could be due to an underactive gluteus medius on the same side. And those are the compensations that I saw on my right lateral squat.